Good morning. Whew. I want to start out with, let's just take a minute to get really present with where you are right now. Check out your surroundings, feel your body, just kind of get there. And we're just going to kind of right now just take a minute to pray, to think, to ask God, to pray, to thank Him for this moment, for the blessings. Just kind of get connected because He's got some stuff to say today. So just breathe in for a minute. So I've talked before about the moment of connection with God and what heavenly connections do. Like if you plug in to heaven a couple times a day, you actually have the power when you need it. It's not down on your knees in prayer with your little arms folded and really holy. Right now, it's just that moment of connection. We go, hey, I'm here. I would really love to have you connect with me. You just stay there kind of for a moment until you kind of feel something. Okay? All right, let's get going. What we do every morning. Oh, I'm going to introduce myself again so that you guys know who I am. I'm Ann Ferguson, and I haven't got a frog in my throat today. Gosh. I am an author. I am a personal mentor, and I'm a mindset coach. Mindset trainer, person who really likes to have control over my own mind and therefore my outcomes. And I love to teach that. I'm a grandma, 4 cute little girls. I'm a mommy of 5. I am a lover of peeling things apart and finding out how things work and why things matter. I am a daughter of a God who loves me, and I love Him. And He set me on this path to do a thing. None of this was my, I didn't set out to do this whole business thing, and especially not this social media thing. It's kind of weird for me, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to talk about stillness today. So, it was the sunrise this morning that inspired it. Because, like I said yesterday, I walk and I pray and go, hey Lord, what are we talking about today? And every once in a while, ideas will flow into my head. I stick it on a Trello board and go, I'm just going to pop it there so that I can be reminded. And this morning, I popped that open and I saw God is in the stillness. That's what we're going to talk about today. But we are going to figure out why it is so hard sometimes to be still. Sometimes it's physical. I have got this wonderful, awesome, powerful ADD brain. It is not a disability to have ADD. I can think of 25,000 things at the same time. And with God's help, because He gave me the brain. Hey God, which thing would you love me to focus on in this moment? Hey God, what thing? What thing do I need to be doing right now? Because there's a whole lot of things in my brain. So, stillness of mind. I don't know so much. Okay, stillness of body. Anybody else? ADD is a cognitive brain thing. It's a wiring issue. And so many times because of childhood stuff, we do not embrace it. So if you are ADD, ADHD, welcome. And there's nothing wrong with you, and there never has been anything wrong with you. The environment that we did school in, the environment that our parents believed were behaved children that reflected on them being a good parent, sometimes wasn't really conducive to who you were. Your curiosity is incredible. Those of you who are not ADD, don't worry. You're okay too. You're fine. But the stillness is an interesting thing. Do you know if somebody can be not ADD and not be still? Because maybe it's a little bit more than just the body or just the wiring of the brain. Okay, let's go into the why. I was praying and saying, hey God, how do you want me to attack this? I hear you. The stillness is where you sit, but there are so many reasons why we're not still. So let's go back into some parenting stuff for a minute. Okay. Did you have to be hyper vigilant of everybody's emotions and moods in order to navigate? Make sure that you didn't upset, make sure that you were kind, make sure that you didn't get in trouble, because you said if you had to be kind of hyper vigilant to feel safe, then stillness may be a little hard for you to get to. Yeah. Okay. Was the environment that you grew up in not predictable? Okay, that could be that 1 minute the parent was totally okay, and the next minute, like, you've done something and you've triggered the landmine and you got blown up. And you never know what it's going to be. I heard somebody talking about that eggshells, they actually grew up as a child with eggshells taped around their feet because they were always tiptoeing and it never worked. Okay, if that's the case, if it was unpredictable, then you may be one that's always waiting for the next shoe to drop. Like somebody's gonna do something and it's gonna come out and it's gonna smack you upside the head and you are not gonna be prepared for it. So stillness, what? If you are still, you're asleep on watch and you are gonna be taken out. You gotta stay vigilant. Okay, that could be one thing. Okay, another one, busy. Being busy. It's like, no, but I've got this and this and this and this and this to get done. I don't have time to be still. Okay, did your parents value doing, like, all the time? Like, they didn't sit down and they put a value system in you that to sit down is lazy and to not be doing? Like, did they ever come to the room and go, okay, what are you doing? Like, are you doing anything productive, or are you just like sitting here and loafing around? Okay, did you watch them push way beyond what they needed to do? Like, they didn't sit down, and so there's this value of being busy. Like, stillness feels irresponsible. Like, I talked to this guy, he was an entrepreneur, really cool guy. He was a coach of my son's swim team, and he talked about how if he was ever not engaged in something, that his dad would get after him. Like, what are you doing with your life? Where's your time management? Like, this is frivolous stuff. You don't need to be doing this. You need to be getting up. You need to be productive. He was one of those type A personalities I think I've ever met. And it's because his dad's validation of whether or not he was a good parent and a good person depended on his child's achievements. So many reasons. So many reasons. And I think it's combined with our body and our mind at the same time. Okay. Let's peel apart some of the things. I don't know if you saw my post inviting people in, but one of the things I said is, do you run around amok, unsupervised in your own brain? Like, stillness, what? Okay, a lot of times that is that you were left alone to figure things out. So your brain is always trying to figure things out. Kind of get this panic that you don't know what you don't know, but you don't want anybody to know that you don't know. Luckily, the internet has changed that. Oh my gosh. When I was a brand new bride, so I used to dance pre-professionally with Ballet West. I was always in the studio. I never learned to cook. I was a new bride. Got the Better Homes and Gardens, Betty Crocker, whatever, red and white checkered cookbook, and I was going to like make things, and I was going to cook for my new husband. I was going to prove that the wedding ring and the reception equaled. I am now domestic. I opened up that book, and so many recipes said cooked chicken. Do you know I didn't know how to cook a chicken? I didn't even know where to start. I didn't know that you could like saute it, and you can bake it, and you can boil it. Like, I had no idea. And I didn't let anybody know because I was so embarrassed that as an adult, I didn't know. Panic. It's kind of that unsupervised, running amok kind of thing. No stillness. So, I recently did a Genius Boot Camp. A Genius Boot Camp is a 3-day workshop where we look into what's kind of stopping your genius. Now, I'm not talking about all the professionalism. If somebody wants to come because they are an entrepreneur and they need to get new steps or they're trying to connect to their big life mission, totally worth it. If it's just, I don't feel like I even know who I am and what my purpose is, even if it's not big purpose, I don't even know, then Genius Boot Camp is a place for you, because we peel that apart. We look at why you get going on an idea or a plan and then you bounce out of it because you get nervous and go, well, maybe this wasn't God's will. Maybe it's not okay. Right? So it's a 3-day workshop. Had a woman in the 3-day workshop. This is where the stillness is where God is coming from. Oh, that sweet woman was so always just talking so fast and so busy and so panicked and yeah, but what about this? She's the kind of person that when you say, hey, here's a suggestion, you could possibly do this to make your life a little bit better or easier. Yeah, but and then she would tell me all the reasons why it's not possible, why it doesn't work, and why drama is all the things, and why she's kind of a victim to all the drama. And she wasn't a huge victim, but she was. She was a victim to all the busy. And we kind of had a breakthrough moment where she kind of realized that she wasn't getting this. She wasn't getting what I was talking about, like everybody else kind of seemed to get it, and she didn't get it. And then she told me about, and she had this bad thing and that bad thing, and she thought she was safe here, and then she wasn't safe, and all of the things. And I said, yeah, that's really rough. And she goes, I just don't even think that God talks to me. Like, he doesn't even talk to me. Like, how can I hear him? You tell me about finding the next right step, because Genius Boot Camp is all about finding the next right step, knowing how to actually recognize it, right? And allow yourself to dream, allow yourself to receive. The next right step is so cool. Anyway, she's like, he does never talk to me. He's never talking to me. And immediately the Spirit rushed in. And I went, that's because I'm in the stillness. And I said, hey, when's the last time you were still? And she goes, what? And it was almost like I had stuck a spider right in front of her. Like, the nervousness and the retreat was fascinating to me. And I go, stillness. When's the last time you were still? And she goes, So in her and in many people, it's irresponsible to just relax for whatever reason. And so she had a real aversion to the stillness. Now, this is why this matters. We've been talking about honoring and validating and how to get out of some of this stuff that we got from emotionally immature parents, and the way that we relate to each other and the way that we communicate. Because you can be very quiet and not still. You ever have all of the thoughts running around in your head when you're doing the conversations over and over and over in your brain, trying to figure out where you went wrong, but you're not saying anything to anybody? Yeah, you're not still. It's really important. There's another thing. When I'm communicating with somebody and their perspective is way off, we talked about that yesterday, like, how do you validate? How do you not gaslight, right? Because gaslighting is saying your perspective is completely wrong. The way you're thinking is completely off. The way I think is better, and you shouldn't be feeling this because if you thought this way, you should feel that. That's gaslighting. But when somebody's perspective is so different than yours, how do you be still long enough to hear their side without getting all freaked out about yours not being recognized? You got to practice some stillness. So, breathing is step one. Good deep breaths kind of gets your body to go, oh no, I'm right here. Stillness in your mind is when you actually kind of let God be present. He doesn't have to fix anything. You don't have to fix anything. You just need to get a little more present, not with all of the future worries, not with all of the pain of the past. Because right now, you need to remind your body, I'm safe. Right now, in this moment, I am just safe. I'm safe in the park. I'm safe in my kitchen. I'm safe in my shower. My brain is telling me I'm not safe. I'm safe. The reason why this matters is because we really want God and the Holy Spirit to be our guide. But you know that if you are hyper vigilantly worrying in advance of everything, just in case, so that you're prepared for that big thing that may happen, that you're actually not enjoying the life that God gave you, and you can't hear the warning. Have you ever done this? Like, there's something that's gone on, and you're like, I don't know if that was me or if that is God. I just don't feel right about it. It's because you don't actually value peace enough. You can say, I want to be peaceful. You got to train your body to receive it. I had a girl who lived with me. She was a college kid. She had a lot of drama in her family, and she came to Pennsylvania, lived with me for a year. She came home one day and she goes, I just don't feel like I'm really being, active. It's like, I don't know, I don't feel productive. And I go, really? Because you're working and you're going to school and you're kind of rocking this adult thing. What is it? She goes, I don't know. And then I went, oh, it's the drama. She goes, what? And I go, your body is addicted to the drama. And this environment actually doesn't produce any for you. Like, we don't do the drama. We don't get the adrenaline kicking up for you. So it feels wrong. It feels like you're lazy. It feels like you're missing something. She goes, oh my gosh, I'm missing the drama. I said, yeah, a lot of us do it. If we've had drama in our life or we've created drama for too long, when it's gone, something feels wrong. Like, it feels like an old friend. Yesterday I talked about that we can create. We're never not creating. Our thoughts plus our emotions are the things that create our reality. And so looking forward into something that you would love and believing that the worst case scenario is what's going to happen, now we kind of know why nothing ever works out, because you didn't let the stillness, the peace of the thing happen. It's totally okay that you didn't. Okay, I want to say this again. If you don't know how to be still, it's because you were never taught to be still. Okay, you were taught to sit still. Isn't that a thing when your body is crawling with needing to move? No. Imagine the scenario. You're super worried about a situation at school. You don't know about the test. You don't know how you're going to do. You're really, really worried. Two things that can happen. Mom and Dad can go, you're fine, just study. I don't have time for this. I'm sure you're going to be okay. And leave you alone in the worry. And they get kind of frustrated and angry with you that you didn't pull an A, you got a B instead. That'll just generate more of that. What if? Oh, so you're worried. Okay. So I'm worried about something too, but I'm going to just pause. I just want to sit with you for a minute. Okay, so why don't you tell me, what is the part that you are really worried about in this test? Let's look at it. Let's see what happens. I'll hear you. If we need to tweak anything, we can. If not, we're just going to celebrate because you're going to nail this. You're going to be okay. And then you actually speak whatever it is, and it's like, no, that's totally good. You've got this. You're fine. Now stillness happens. You weren't trained to do that. I wasn't trained to do that. I wasn't trained to be still. I found out in my ADD brain when I heard about meditation. I used to think that, that meant that I could clear my mind. This girl doesn't ever not have a thought. I'm always thinking, evaluating all that. Like, that monkey is always busy. And I went to a meditation conference thing. And they were teaching us. And it was fascinating because she said, look, when you breathe in, breathe out, feel the air coming in. Or if you meditate, you may need some music. And you can follow just one instrument maybe. You've got to keep the monkey over there busy so that your rest of your mind can empty. What? Like it's not just emptiness? It's not for me. I will meditate and I will try to pick up a sound. Like I will hear the birds chirping back and forth to each other. And I will let my focus go there, and then other thoughts kind of weave in and out. But I've got my mind on the birds. I think God kind of speaks and does some things. That's stillness in my mind. Not the way anybody had told me. Stillness in my body. Do you know this walking actually feels like stillness? Because there's a methodical step, 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 step. My breathing is the same. The swing of my arms. There's a repetitive nature about this, about biking. And what I understand is that for women, that actually calms everything down. I'm going to encourage you today, when you get really, really worried about something, or you're thinking about worst case scenario, to do two things. If you are willing not to make yourself wrong for being worried, for being anxious, for having self-doubt, for not being confident, right? If you can just go, wow, I'm so not confident about this. Wow, I feel like vulnerable in the way that I want to hide, and stay curious and go, what is that about? Without judging yourself. Now you can say, what would I love to feel instead? You have to be still enough to hear yourself. If you feel emotionally lonely a lot, the first step is you got to hear yourself. See, you've abandoned you. Other people in your life, starting with parents, didn't show up for you emotionally. And so as an adult, you don't show up for yourself emotionally. Your parents didn't show up for themselves emotionally. And so it's the pattern. But we can change it. Become aware. What am I feeling? Wow, that's really interesting. That I'm already feeling judged and I haven't even been in the presence of that person. I want to get still with this thought. I don't want to go into worst case scenario of what all that judgment's going to mean and all of the things that it's going to produce on the back end and how I'm going to feel and how more isolation and loneliness is going to come because of the judgment. You can do that. Guys, listen up. You are so powerful. You can have faith in fear. Faith is believing in things that are not seen. Worst case scenario hasn't happened yet. So can you be completely in faith of that thing? You absolutely 100% can. Or you can project in, what would I love to feel? Feel it enough that it starts to become real and tangible, and you are now having faith in the possibility. It's all your choice. You can create whatever you want. You got to get still just enough to hear you. So I want you to think this, and then we're going to be done. Ready? You got a little child who's freaking out. Freaking out. What do we say to the little child? Hey, calm down. Just calm down. My daughter taught my little grandbaby, she was 2. She taught her to go. So she'd be really, really upset, and my daughter would go, hey, ready? So she would do it, and the tantrum would many times kind of abate. She would just get present and she would breathe. She would calm herself down. So if you've got a lot of things, just go. If you need to know how to do it, it's on Daniel Tiger. He's great. Look him up on YouTube. He's the one who teaches that. Just enough. So if we've got a little kid, okay, just calm down, just breathe. Hey, look, I'm right here. Now, tell me what you were upset about. Can you tell me? Let me know. What are you upset about right now? I don't know. Okay. Does it feel afraid? No, I'm not afraid. Okay. Are you mad? I'm a little mad. Okay, so we found mad. That's good. So you're a little mad. Can you tell me what you're mad at? Now, if you can do that same thing to you, non-judgmental curiosity, and show up for yourself and say, I'm going to be still enough to recognize what this is with no judgment, now God can talk. He can say, hey, look, it's totally okay. You're okay. I'm right here. Let's go do something together. I know it feels big. You haven't ever done this before. But I'm right here. Let's just do it together. Or he can say, yeah. Okay, the reason why you're feeling this little wonky thing is because I'm telling you that this is not the path. This is not what's good for you right now. So I'm so glad you got still so that I could warn you. I want you to listen up. Everybody listen to this. A no from God is peaceful. He goes, nope, not the right thing. And you kind of feel this, oh, no, I'm not supposed to do that thing. You don't have regret. You don't have worry. You can just go, hey, God, is this a thing? And if you're willing to just really listen, and he goes, nope. Even if you really wanted it, you go, really? He goes, no, honey, this is not it. Oh, I'm so glad I did not going to find out why I shouldn't do that. I'm just not going to do it because I hear the no. That is very different than all the fear and the anxiety of worst case no that you are creating just in case it's not going to go well. And that keeps you from your potential. So, the goal is to get still. If you need to meditate, see if you can do it in your mind. If you need to walk in your body, the goal is to be still enough to hear you today. Validate it. Don't make yourself wrong. Just do that. And comment. We're going to do this, guys. We are going to actually figure out how to become emotionally mature in the best sort of way, communicative of our experiences and needs without judging someone else, in a way that they're open enough to share what they're feeling so that we can have actual conversations and emotional intimacy. It is the goal. Stick with me. Keep coming. That's it. I went a little over today, but I'm grateful that you're here. Have a really super blessed day. Share the video. Comment. Bring me into your world because I want to know. I want to see you. I want to know who you are. I want to celebrate with you. And I want to stand with you when you're kind of wonky because you deserve it. That's it, everybody. Have a wonderful